Rain had been falling for days. But on that night, it didn't fall. It crashed. Thunder shook the ground. The sky was a relentless gray curtain, and rivers turned into monsters. In a small rural town, nestled between forest edges and farmlands, the creek had overflowed its banks. Roads disappeared. Power lines hissed. And in the middle of it all, a little girl clung to a floating mattress as floodwaters tore through her home. Her name was Lily. She was just 7 years old. And she was alone. Her mother had stepped out to find help, just minutes before the back wall of their trailer gave in. Lily screamed, but no one heard her over the roar of water. The current swept her through a hole in the side of the house, spinning her into the flooded street. She held tight to the mattress, her tiny knuckles white, her teeth chattering not just from the cold, but from the fear that maybe her mom wasn't coming back. Miles away, a rescue team was rerouted by landslides. Emergency calls went unanswered. The town's radio tower had fallen. But someone else had heard her cries. Not someone with boots or a badge, but with 4 legs. He had no name. Just a battered collar, rusted tags, and eyes that had seen too much. A stray. People called him Ghost because he came and went like one, never staying long, never taking food twice from the same porch. But that night, Ghost stood on a high patch of ground overlooking the waterlogged street. Ears forward. Tail still. Something had caught his attention. A child's scream. It echoed faintly over the crashing branches and swirling debris. And then, there it was again. Without hesitation, Ghost leapt down the slope, paws slipping in mud as he bolted through the rising water. A branch whipped across his side. He didn't stop. A fence floated by, nearly clipping him. He ducked beneath it, still running. Lily had drifted into a narrow alley now, wedged between 2 sheds. The mattress hit a snag and flipped. She plunged under. Silence. Then, a splash. A black shape hit the water. Ghost. He paddled hard, diving toward the bubbles. His snout dipped, searching. A flash of pink, her jacket. He grabbed it. Tugged. Kicked. And then she surfaced, coughing and crying. She tried to scream, but water had filled her mouth. She latched onto his wet fur, sobbing into his neck. Ghost growled, not at her, but at the current that wanted to take her again. He swam sideways against the spin, pulling her to a doorframe half submerged in water. He nudged her onto the ledge. She scrambled up, shivering. Good boy, she whispered. He stayed at her side. Barked once. Twice. No one came. The rain still fell, but lighter now. In the distance, a faint red glow blinked. An emergency signal, maybe. Hope. But to reach it, they'd have to cross the water again. Ghost looked at her. Then turned. Splash. He jumped back in, swimming in a tight circle. Lily watched. He barked at her again, short, sharp. Beckoning. Her teeth chattered. I'm scared, she whispered. Another bark. He circled back. Nudged her gently. Her lip quivered. But she slid off the ledge and into the water. Ghost was beside her instantly. She clung to his back, fingers gripping his collar. And then they began to move. The water was darker now, full of broken furniture, tires, garbage cans. But Ghost dodged every obstacle, guiding her with instinct like he'd done this 100 times before. Halfway through, a gust of wind slammed a floating car door toward them. Ghost turned too late. The metal edge scraped across his ribs. He yelped. Lily screamed. Blood mixed with rain. But he kept going. He didn't stop. She cried harder, holding him tighter. Finally, after what felt like hours, they reached a slope. Grass. Earth. She stumbled onto it, dragging herself up. Ghost collapsed beside her, panting, bleeding. His eyes fluttered. No. No, no, please, she cried, pulling his head into her lap. You can't leave me now. You saved me. She looked around. No one. No lights. Just her. Just him. But then headlights. A rescue truck. Sloshing tires. Shouts. Flashlights. And as voices neared and boots pounded the soaked ground, Lily wrapped her arms around Ghost's neck and whispered through tears. I'll never forget you. You're my hero. And as the rescuers ran up the hill toward them, Ghost closed his eyes. To be continued. Lily sat inside the rescue truck, wrapped in a thick blanket. Her hair was soaked. Her lips blue. But she wouldn't stop looking back. Back at the muddy hill. Back at the figure lying still in the rain. Ghost. 2 rescuers had carried him up, gingerly, respectfully, but he hadn't moved since. One of them checked for a pulse. He's still breathing, the man said. But barely. Lily clutched his cold paw. "You have to save him," she whispered, barely audible beneath the hum of generators and shouting voices. The paramedic gave her a sad look. "Sweetheart, he's a stray. We're not vets." "He's not just a dog," she snapped, startling everyone. "He saved my life. He's my family now." Silence hung heavy. Then the oldest rescuer, a woman with a weather-beaten face and sharp eyes, knelt beside the girl. "You said he swam through that current to reach you?" Lily nodded. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "He got hit. He was bleeding. But he never stopped." The woman touched Ghost's chest. Faint heartbeat. Shallow breathing. She stood. "We'll take him. Put him in the back of my truck. There's a vet clinic on higher ground. They've still got backup power." With that, the team sprang into motion. Ghost was lifted carefully onto a stretcher. Lily rode beside him, holding a flashlight over his face, as if her love alone could guide him through the shadows. The drive was bumpy. Roads washed out. Branches scattered everywhere. But finally, the small animal clinic appeared, a white building glowing faintly in the gray morning. The vet on duty, a young man in his 30s, met them at the door. "Put him here," he called, clearing a space on the table. Lily backed into the corner as he and his assistant worked. Internal bleeding, deep laceration on the side, ribs might be fractured. Every word was a punch to her heart. She bit her lip, folded her hands, prayed. The vet injected a painkiller, cleaned the wound, wrapped Ghost's side, hooked up fluids. Finally, he stepped back. "He's stable. But it's up to him now." Lily exhaled shakily. "Can I stay with him?" The vet nodded. "Just keep him warm. Talk to him." And she did. Hours passed. The storm finally died. Power returned. Phones rang off the hook. Families reunited. But Lily never left the room. She sat by Ghost's side, talking about her mom, her school, her favorite cartoon. Anything to keep the silence away. And slowly, very slowly, Ghost's ear twitched. Lily gasped. "Did you see that?" she shouted. "He moved." The vet smiled. "That's a good sign. A few more hours." Another twitch. A breath. Eyes fluttered. Then he looked at her. Her heart exploded with joy. "Hi, boy. You came back." He whined softly. She laid her head on his chest, sobbing with relief. The story spread. By evening, reporters had arrived. A viral video of Lily and Ghost was already circulating, captured by a rescuer's body cam. Donations poured in for the vet clinic. The town, still drying from the flood, had found its symbol of hope. Lily's mother was found safe at a relief center, frantically searching for her daughter. Their reunion was raw and tearful. But when she saw Ghost beside her child, wrapped in blankets, a bandage on his ribs, she understood. She knelt down, eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, stroking his head. Ghost's tail moved just once. They stayed at the clinic for 2 more days. Then one morning, Lily awoke to find Ghost standing, wobbly but upright. She squealed. "You're walking." He limped toward her, and she ran into his side, hugging him tight. The clinic staff clapped. The vet wiped away a tear. A few days later, the mayor held a community gathering. "We've lost homes," he said, "but we haven't lost hope. And thanks to one brave dog, we remember what courage looks like." He turned. "Lily, would you like to say a few words?" She stepped up nervously, took the mic. "I was scared. I thought I was going to die. But Ghost didn't let me. He risked everything, and I don't even know why. He just knew I needed help." She looked down at him. "I think that's what heroes do, even if no one asks." The crowd erupted in applause. Ghost barked once, proudly. But deep down, Lily knew this wasn't the end of their story. Because now, they had to build a life together. And it wouldn't be easy. To be continued. Weeks passed. The floodwaters receded, leaving behind broken homes and scattered debris, but also a town forever changed. Lily and her mom moved into temporary housing, provided by local volunteers. It wasn't much, just a small 1-bedroom cabin, but it had warmth, running water, and a sense of safety. And most importantly, it had Ghost. He slept beside Lily's bed every night now. His bandages were gone. His fur was growing back. He still limped slightly, but he had a spark in his eyes again. The kind that only comes when you know you're home. Neighbors who once ignored the quiet, wandering stray now greeted him by name. "Morning, Ghost. There's the hero pup." Kids in the neighborhood brought him treats. A bakery down the street baked dog-friendly cookies with his face on them. And the vet clinic? It renamed one of its wings after him. the Ghost Recovery Room, for animals that fought hard to live. One Saturday morning, Lily and her mom took Ghost for a walk near the riverbank, the same one that had once threatened to take everything from them. The landscape was different now. Trees still leaned awkwardly. Some fences had yet to be rebuilt. But the town had added something new, a bronze statue, right by the water's edge. It was a small girl and a dog, facing the current together. A plaque beneath it read, "In memory of courage, loyalty, and love. For the ones who never give up." Lily stared at the statue in silence, her hand wrapped around Ghost's leash. "I think you saved more than just me," she whispered. Ghost looked up at her, tail gently swaying. Her mom smiled. "You know, I used to think angels had wings." Lily nodded. "Turns out some have paws." Later that day, they returned home. Lily grabbed her school backpack and reached for a journal. The teacher had asked them to write about someone who changed their life. She opened the first page, titled it with care, "The Dog Who Saved Me." And she wrote, not just about the flood, but about bravery, about kindness, about how one act of love can ripple further than any flood ever could. That night, Ghost curled at her feet as she read her story aloud. He listened, eyes closed, tail flicking with each memory. And just before Lily turned out the light, she looked down at him and whispered, "You didn't just rescue me that day. You taught me what it means to fight, to care, to never look away when someone's in trouble." He gave a soft sigh and rested his head on her toes. The world outside still had storms, still had danger. But inside that little cabin, there was peace. There was healing. And there was the unspoken bond between a girl and the dog who'd chosen her. Not for food, not for shelter, but for love. The moral of the story asterisk, sometimes the smallest voices are saved by the quietest heroes. Bravery doesn't always wear a uniform. It often walks on four legs, with a scarred body, a loyal heart, and the instinct to protect what matters. And in the end, love, loyalty, and courage will always rise above the storm.